There are so many men not getting the results that they want on their NoFap journey, which is leading them to binge watch all of this NoFap content just to keep themselves motivated enough to stay clean. And honestly, it's not even their fault because there are so many influencers talking about, the benefits of NoFap and the outcomes it creates instead of sharing a structured and actionable way to get there in the first place. So in today's video, I will be changing that. After implementing our actionable prevention strategies, you're going to have total clarity each day on the right actions to ensure that you never give into these urges again. And I'm going to lay it all out step by step. All you're going to have to do is follow it. Now, the reason why I'm able to get back this type of content is because I myself used to rely on motivation and willpower when I was trying to quit porn and escorts. And after trial and error in developing these strategies and battle testing them, I've been able to overcome all of my sexual vices to get the real intimacy I've wanted, and I've helped dozens of men do the same. Now let's dive in. For those who are new to my channel, I'm Coach Josh, founder of Purpose Over Pleasure, and it is my God-given purpose to help men overcome all of their sexual vices so they can get the real intimacy that they want. Now, the only way to achieve long-term freedom from porn and masturbation is to have prevention strategies, because a man without a plan is vulnerable on this journey. You could easily find yourself in a compromising situation with yourself, an internet browser, Instagram, TikTok, or even in a social situation, and then boom, opportunity to relapse meets an ill-prepared man and the inevitable happens. An ill-prepared man will never achieve long-term freedom. They might be able to go on a streak or two, but really it's just not sustainable because they're forever going to be fighting against their own body, and it's tough, and that leads to this weird internal conflict where one part of them wants to stay clean bad, and another part of them wants to continue to act out because it gets a need met. Now, prevention strategies allow your body to start to work with you rather than against you. So there's no longer this internal battle, and every single part of your being wants to stay clean. And that's when recovery is effortless. So having prevention strategies is literally the difference between struggling on NoFap and having freedom from all your sexual vices. Because simply said, if you knew what to do to stay clean, you would simply do it. So with that said, let's just dive into the logic behind these strategies, and then I'll share with you the 2 best prevention strategies for NoFap. So there are 4 reasons why I want you guys to incorporate prevention strategies. So the first one is that we want to create separation between you and your acting out behavior, because the more separation you have, the more leverage you have over your own recovery. So think about it this way, if you're on day 1 of NoFap, you have way less incentive to stay clean if you were to be on day 90 of NoFap, because once you get that positive momentum going, you just want to keep it. So prevention strategies allow you to get that separation, especially early on, build better habits, and then be able to stay clean and make it just effortless. The second reason why we need prevention strategies is something that I honestly see no one really talking about, yet it's so important, and it's we need to start to gather data about your addictive cycle. So prevention strategies allow you to get clarity on any triggers that might be common, any pain agents that are leading you to go and act out. Some common ones are boredom, stress, loneliness, inadequacies. There's a lot of different reasons why people want to escape an emotional void and act out, and prevention strategies gives you that clarity so you can better plan for it in the future. And the third reason is that we need to start to go on offense in your own recovery rather than just constantly playing the defense and reacting to urges. I think every guy, most guys on NoFap are honestly just getting urges, using their own willpower and trying to fight it off. And that's the worst possible thing you can do. We want to start to go on offense, and instead of having to constantly react to these urges, and prevention strategies do that. So the fourth reason is that it gets your body to start to work with you rather than against you. Now, most people have this internal conflict, to act out or to stay clean, and that internal conflict leads them to have this cognitive dissonance, and it's a fight when that happens. But once people can start to use these prevention strategies, build better habits, and have systems in place to stay clean, your body's going to start to work with you. It's going to understand the necessity for staying clean on NoFap, and once it gets some benefits, it gets the results it wants, staying clean is going to be effortless because there's no longer a fight. It's just, you just go, and you stay clean. So that is what prevention strategies can do for you. And the first method I'm going to share with you, it's all 4 of these perfectly. And this method is called the rubber band method, and it is an extremely effective and easy prevention strategy that I give to literally everyone. And the idea behind it is just genius, because currently you are getting rewarded for lusting, fantasizing, using pornography, masturbating. And when you release sexually, your brain receives a chemical overload of endogenous opiates, aka endorphins. And these endorphins are the single highest chemical reward for anything you can ever do in your life. Like, you can run, you can work out, but a sexual release is by far the biggest chemical high that we get out of life. So in layman's terms, this is called positive reinforcement. So every single time you go and act out, you're just getting that positive reinforcement. Like, oh, I get an urge, I act out, I feel good, get that chemical release. Let's do more of that. And over time of conditioning your body for years to go and do this and feel this high, you start to create a bond between, these actions. So you keep doing it. And that's where you see guys get stuck in this cycle. So I want to provide you a prevention strategy that can help not only just reverse this positive reinforcement, but be able to help you break out of this cycle in a short time. So the rubber band method is simple. Get a rubber band just like this and place it around your wrist for at least 30 days. And every single time you lust, objectify a woman in your head, crave porn, masturbation, or whatever you act out with, or just get hit with this sexual image in your head, right? Pull the rubber band back and let it snap. And you will be so surprised how often your brain is positively reinforcing lust. It's crazy. And over time, and with consistent use of this method, you will start to associate pain with acting out rather than pleasure. And you can finally create that separation between you and your acting out behavior and even break free from this addictive cycle of porn and masturbation. But don't just take my word for it. This method has been battle tested by Dr. Douglas Weiss, pretty much the OG of sex addiction treatment. And he's reported that men who use this method have said that they've been able to shut down as much as 80% of their lust life. So any urges, fantasies, mental images, like the vast majority of it has been shut down with this method. And the significance of the urges, the power that they have been reduced within just a month. So this method is awesome. And I've personally used this method and I can confirm that it works. But to expand on Dr. Weiss's work, I found a couple ways that you can make this method even better. So for the majority of the times, just being mindful that you are being lustful or just like objectifying a woman or having an image pop up in your head, just being mindful of that is enough to create that separation. Like simply just being like, oh, I'm feeling this way, boom. That's good enough for a lot of urges. But when you get those tougher cravings, the real strong urges that might have a pain agent associated to it, or it's a habitual time where you're supposed to go and act out and you're kind of going against that conditioning. For the real tough urges, it's best to use a rubber band method and pair it with action. So the best thing you can do by far is change your environmental stimuli. So are you lying in bed? Well, just get out of bed, right? Just change your environment. Your body will start to, get sidetracked with different surroundings. Are you at your desktop, right? Just go outside, right? I think that's the best thing to do. And simply changing your environment will allow the urge to go away far faster than just sitting there and just fighting it. So if for any reason you can't change your environment, at least get yourself into a better mindset. So I've heard of guys like reciting Bible verses when they use a rubber band. So they pull it back, say a couple verse or two, and they're good to go for the most part. Other guys, talk about their why for their getting clean, like why they're doing this, the benefits they want to achieve, and go really in depth about that and really visualize what their life could look like. And the key in the self-talk is that it needs to be so emotionally compelling that it gives your body a huge incentive to stay clean. Because if you give your body a strong reason to stay clean, it will work with you. So it just needs to be emotionally compelling. Now, I love making the rubber band method the first prevention strategy because of one word: data. Early on, data is king in your own recovery. And the rubber band method allows you to gain an understanding of your triggers, of your pain agents, and any problem times. So for example, I was working with a client of mine, Jason, who's inside of the Recovery Blueprint. And when Jason came to me, he was struggling with porn and escorts. But after using the rubber band method for just 1 week, he found his pain agent. That whenever he felt lonely, whenever he felt inadequate, that he couldn't get the dating life that he wanted, he would get difficult urges. But after working with him, he was able to go on a long streak and truly just overcome all of his sexual vices. And now Jason is starting to make approaches and getting phone numbers, which is awesome, man. A huge transformation motivation. But it all started with using the rubber band method and realizing his pain agents to gather the necessary data to better plan for his addictive cycle. So when you use this method, be sure to collect data about any triggers, any pain agents, any problem times, and use that data to better prepare using the second method I'm about to give you. Now, the second method is really great because up to this point, you have been reacting to urges, right? You get an urge, react to it, use willpower. So today I want to be changing that. I'll be sharing with you a method that will finally allow you to go on the offensive and accelerate your own recovery. So here it goes. I want each and every one of you to start to implement a recovery journal. Like, I don't want to hear any excuses that you might have as to why you can't use a journal, because it literally just takes 5 minutes out of your day max. And it allows you to fulfill your goals of staying clean. Now, the recovery journal is simple. There are 2 types of entries I want you to do daily in there. And the key is to have them to be unique and not just writing the same thing down every single day. So in the first entry, I want you to talk about your why for that day. So maybe you have a hot date later that day and you want to stay clean, or you're anticipating a tough day at work and you just want to be on it and on top of things, so you want to stay clean. Or you want to stay clean today because 2 days from now you're going to hit day 30. Like, I don't care what your reason is or what your why is for that day, as long as it's emotionally compelling, because I want you to really resonate with that why. Because if you can do that, you're going to have ammo for when an urge pops up. Now, you get that urge, you're like, oh, I got to stay clean because of X reason. Boom, that's adequate. And you have that, intentionality about everything. So it's very effective for that. Now, the second entry is just as simple. I want you to write down what you will do if you get an urge that day, because being intentional about this prevents you from falling into this trance, going on autopilot mode, and then acting out. Once you have some data about your triggers, pain agents, problem times, you can better prepare for them in this entry. And I'll give you some examples. So you can write down, like, since I get difficult urges when I'm stressed out, I will make sure that if I get stressed out today at work, I'll take a quick break and just calm myself down. Or since I know I get difficult urges in the morning, when I wake up, I'll commit to putting my phone in another room the night before and using the rubber band method if I get an urge. Or you can say something along the lines of, like, if I get triggered by something on my phone today, I'll use a rubber band method, use some self-talk, and then change my environment. So using the recovery journal in this way to talk about your why for that day, or just planning for potential urges, is a great way to go on the offensive and effortlessly get over urges just because you are prepared. So every single guy that I've seen use this method has actually had success on their NoFap journey. And this method perfectly pairs with the rubber band method. So if you're to do these 2 actionable prevention strategies, you will see great results. Now, if you're aligned with this video and you want to take your NoFap journey seriously so you can stop, willingly relapsing and start to achieve freedom from all these evil sexual vices that are holding you back from being the man that you want to be, I want you to click on the link in the comment section where I prepared a quick 5-minute video explaining how the recovery blueprint works and has saved dozens of men's lives and helped them overcome all of their sexual vices so they can get the real intimacy that they wanted in their dating or relational lives. Because if there's one thing that I've learned from talking to hundreds of guys with these issues and on this path and on this journey, it's that you cannot do this on your own. You need a step-by-step guidance process. You need accountability. You need prevention strategies. And most importantly, you need a community of men lifting each other up to have success. So if you are aligned with my mission, go to the link below and book a call with me today. And with that said, stay safe, stay strong. I'll see y'all boys in the next one. Peace.